In this video, I'm going to explain when to correct your child's spelling in writing and when to let misspellings stay. I'm Allison DeFrees, and you're watching Reading with Allison. I know a lot of parents with children who love to write, but their writing is littered with misspellings. And when the parents try to help the children correct that spelling, the child becomes frustrated. I actually think that one of the reasons students begin to dislike writing in second and third grade is because they've been asked to correct spelling and writing becomes less fun for them. I also know parents that help their child lovingly with writing, and writing is such a pain point for the children that by the end of the writing practice, there's no way the child is going back to do any extra spelling corrections. It's just a big battle to get the writing done in the first place, and thinking about correcting any of the spelling is like unheard of. It's not happening. There is a better way than leaving all of the spelling uncorrected in a writing and having a frustrated child. And I think you're going to find this video today to be super helpful because I'm going to break down the decision of how to help your child and how much to help your child into micro decisions. And I'm sharing with you the process I use when I help my dyslexic learners with their writing and spelling. After watching this video, you will know how hard to push your child when making spelling corrections and when it's a good time to do it and when it's a bad time to do it. And with that, let's get started on the first micro decision that you can make when you're working with your child. And that is to evaluate the writing's purpose. If the purpose of the writing necessitates perfect spelling, then you've got to have the perfect spelling. An example of this is if you're practicing spelling words. They have to be practiced correctly. You have to insist on perfect spelling. If the writing's purpose is something different, say to express an opinion or to explain what has been learned, then spelling is less important than the ideas expressed in the writing. Therefore, compliment your writer on their great ideas that they expressed and move on. So the first micro decision to make was about the writing's purpose. And the second micro decision to make is about the speller's practice. Your child's practice with these words that are misspelled in their writing. So if you have a kindergartner that has not experienced a lot of prefixes and suffixes, but wants to write them in their writing and they've misspelled them, well, that's okay. I know we know this in our brain, but we cannot expect anyone to be able to spell words that they haven't had experience spelling a lot of before, or appropriate teaching in how to spell those words. When thinking about helping your student with spelling corrections, so far we've talked about the purpose of the writing and the practice your child has with those types of words that are misspelled. The next consideration is about patience. Is your child in an emotional and mental state where they have the capacity to correctly spell these words? If your child is completely burned out after finishing this writing assignment, they need a break. They cannot sit down and correct some words. You are the best judge of your child's patience and your own patience. So if you're sitting with them at the kitchen table and they are over it, then they need to move on. They need to have a break. They are giving you the signals that they are too tired. I know some parents like to review homework each evening with their child before loading it back into their backpack to go to school the next day. Now, at the time of this recording, no one's going to school. I'm recording this during the time in the United States when COVID-19 has closed schools. So I understand you're not packing a backpack to go to school, but think back to a different time. And if you were packing your bag to go to school and you're reviewing the homework, ensuring that your child completed each assignment, that might be a good time to go over some spelling. Ultimately, you know your child and you know your family's routines best. So consider choosing a time that is best for your child to do a couple spelling corrections. The last decision to make is about publishing, and this is a biggie. If the child's writing is going to be published where others are going to read it, then it is important that the child's spelling is correct. So think about this. If the child turns in a reading log to the teacher's going to see it. If the child submits a book report or a project that's going to go on display, all the other kids in the class are going to see it. And that can be very stressful for a child. So it's important to help them have the best spelling that they can have for those experiences when their work will be shared publicly, especially with other students. So to review, we've talked about several different micro decisions that you can make as the parent helping your child with spelling to know if you should correct the spelling or not correct the spelling. And that was the student's purpose for the writing, the practice with the spelling, the patience the student has, and finally, if the writing will be published or not. At the time of this recording, I'm wrapping up Writing Lab with a wonderful cohort of students. Writing Lab is the writing program that I offer for students in grades 3 through 5, and their writing is awesome. We've been practicing personal narratives, persuasive writing, compare and contrast essays, and informational paragraph writing. And we only have one more week. But I know a lot of other kids and parents might be interested in Writing Lab. The best way for you to let me know that you're interested and you want me to do it again is by going to my website and letting me know. So the website to go to is www.allisondefrees.com/lab. That's for Writing Lab. And when you go there, there will be a spot to tell me that you're interested in Writing Lab. And that helps me know when to publish it again, when to get it on my calendar to meet with these students live. So if your student or your homeschool co-op might be interested in Writing Lab, please go to my website and let me know. I will link it in the notes below. But thanks for watching and liking this video and sharing it with anyone who might be interested as well. I appreciate it, and it helps other parents find this content. Have a nice day.